dilemma of dichotomy. Right. So now, obviously, Wilson's concept of making administration autonomous, or Wilson's idea of studying a separate, developing a separate science of administration was based on the inherent value that administration has for society. Right? That you understand? Obviously, administration's autonomy was based on the belief that if administration is given more authority and autonomy or freedom, it will work better for the society. Right? So what was his inherent idea? That authority will be given to administration, not to make it powerful, but to make it more responsible to the society. That you understand? ये तो समझ में आ रहा है, ठीक है? So what is the biggest challenge to this idea? Now there are people like Waldo, Fredrickson, Brian Fry. Have you heard their names? Frank Marini, Fredrickson, or Golumbieski. So Waldo, Brian Fry, Frank Marini, Golumbieski, all three were associated with the new public administration. Right? When Riper, criticism of Wilson. Brian Fry, again he was one of the important contributors to NPA 2. Right? What these people are talking about now, so they are saying that Wilson's idea was good, he had a good intention also, right? But how do you practically implement this dichotomy? Practically how it is visible? Administrators are different from politicians, that is acceptable, right? But is there institution of administration separable from institution of policy? No. Is it possible you will separate these two? Locus change हो सकता है, organization change होता है, institution मतलब organization नहीं है, institution is the interdependence, right? So they are saying that if we talk about governance, if we talk about policy process, entire thing, is it possible that we can separate one from the another? No, right? So they come with, like Waldo. Waldo is a big critic of dichotomy, right? What is Waldo's view? Now Waldo is quite known for his new public administration. Is NPA a criticism of dichotomy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is. Right? NPA is a big criticism of dichotomy because NPA is basically a, what kind of development is NPA? In what phase will you put NPA?
So bringing public administration closer to the society, bringing the
No, let's say phases. Positivism, classical, behavioralism,
postmodernism.
post-behavioralism. What is post-behavioralism? क्या है?
So challenging the fact-based studies.
Correct. You're right. In fact, they are not discarding the scientific knowledge. The post-behavioralists are simply saying, what is the use of this scientific knowledge? If I have huge amount of principles, facts, techniques, right? One of the best rational systems in the world, but ultimately, what is the purpose of all this? Is it not human emancipation? Is it not equality? Is it not justice? So they are saying, what is the purpose of all this? भाई मुझे सब कुछ आता है, उसका क्या बेनिफिट है मेरी लाइफ में? आज तो क्लियर हुआ नहीं, क्या फ़ायदा हो इतना पबेट पढ़ के? ये मुझे हो रहा है अभी, राइट? बट आप तो सोचोगे ना कि मैं इतना पढ़ रहा हूँ, until unless I create a consequence. So post-behavioralists said, lot of scientific knowledge, principles, science of administration. What is the utility? The utility that must be that the society must transform. They are known as post-behavioralists, right? They look for purpose of this knowledge. Understand? So NPA is like a post-behavioral development. So Waldo comes with the idea of new public administration, or supports the view of new public administration as something which makes the entire knowledge of PubAd more meaningful. It makes the knowledge of public administration more suitable for the development of the society, right? it can be utilized for the transformation of society. So NPA, it somewhere brings back the relationship or convergence of politics with administration. Do you agree with this? Yes. It tries to discard the dichotomy, it tries to overcome the dichotomy. How? अब ये तो लॉजिक तो सही है, theoretically सही है, but कैसे? How practically it is visible? How can we say that NPA brings or eliminates the dichotomy?
So I think it talks about values, which
Challenges the dichotomy, yes.
which is a field in the political field. Based on that, we can say there's an interconnection between both.
So somewhere it says that administration is also, or administration also must have values, or it should have value orientation. Fine. Then what else? Change agent. Okay. Now see, when you read NPA, how do you differentiate this NPA from traditional public administration? What is the difference? Traditional public administration was based on same premise, the search for science of administration, right? But not on the premise of what is the purpose of the science of administration. So NPA gives sense or purpose to this knowledge. NPA is not discarding this knowledge, first understand, because NPA does not have any concrete theory to support its argument. ठीक है, NPA says change चाहिए, values चाहिए, client specificity चाहिए, democratic ideals चाहिए, rule of law चाहिए, कैसे? How to achieve it? Through the administration. Are you understanding? Okay, what is the administration is defined by them. So what was NPA trying to do? NPA was saying that the same administrative system which has been developed by traditional public administration will now serve the goals of the society. NPA is without any locus. You understand that? NPA के पास focus है, locus नहीं है. NPA never talks about new organizational. It doesn't talk about new structure or design of organization. It doesn't provide that knowledge also. Fine. So you can understand this way that the traditional PubAd had a structure, right? It had the knowledge of structure, whereas new public administration tells us how to and where to use this structure. So new was, that is why it is the statement that new public administration is more radicalism in words than deeds. Criticism है ना NPA का, old wine in new bottle, radicalism in words than deeds. That's the idea. So see, NPA obviously discarded dichotomy, and it said that if you want autonomy of administration, if you talk about science of administration, ultimately what is the purpose? The purpose is decided by the political system. So you cannot exist without the purpose for which you are functioning, right? So NPA brings this idea, and it says that both have to be integrated together. The one which is implementing the policy, the one which is making the policy, right? So he must know how to implement well, and he must know how to make the policy well, and that is how the policies can be made better and they can be implemented better. So NPA brings this idea that formulators must know implementation, implementers must know formulation, right? So if they are talking about values, right, who will help them understand and achieve those values? Politics, right? How can they bring change in the society? Politics. भाई आपने बोला there is a law to decriminalize LGBT relationship, right? Who will make the law? Right? But you are giving the feedback that okay, the society needs to transform, and this kind of patriarchal mindset or colonial mindset must change. So you give the feedback, and they make the law. So automatically, the change in the society, the NPA talks about the change. How this change is achievable? Only when both are working in collaboration. Are you getting this? Client orientation, citizen orientation, all this is coming from NPA. So Waldo somewhere criticized dichotomy, and it said that dichotomy is not feasible. It is not something that can exist, that can be visualized in reality, because politics and administration are inseparable. So he talks about the organic view. The organic view of state and administration. They are interdependent.